Hello Internet, and welcome to my live reaction for the Cuckoo's Fiancee, chapter 103. When we last left our heroes, the gang watched Ritsuko and Soichiro's victorious run of the M1, which just consisted of Ritsuko asking Soichiro out and Soichiro rejecting her. So the gang goes to Ritsuko to find out, A, what happened after that, and B, does she have any tips as to how they can win the M1 themselves? They find her, and Ritsuko tells them that this was a grand plan that Soichiro cooked up. That because Ritsuko was this rich heiress, and Soichiro was this sort of poor nobody, they were gonna flip the script, have the rich girl ask the poor boy out, and then get rejected, and it would blow everyone's mind, and that kind of worked, actually. But Ritsuko tells the gang, and also Soichiro back in the past, that was the most fun she had ever had. Because there's detail that Ritsuko before that was always this kind of solemn woman, but now she's sort of happy again and has sort of become this sort of the person we know in the present as Ritsuko. But that's where we leave off, with sort of Ritsuko commenting on oh, he made me happy for the first time, of course I'd marry him. And also just Soichiro in the past doesn't seem that similar to the Soichiro of the present, because Soichiro is such a weird fucking character. But anyway, let's dive right on in with 103rd Foul, having four parents and all is fun, isn't it? Would you take your pick as to who that line is referring to? But our picture here is of Erika, and I'm not sure if this is a somewhat see-through dress or what's going on in there, but it looks like her bra is over her dress, which is a little weird, I think. But either way, the sort of springtimey image. Which parents do Nagi and Erika take after? What Nagi's heart refuses to admit. Right, because there's a little bit in the blurb of last chapter. Next time, Nagi has a change of heart toward his parents. In quotes, which, take a guess on, we can guess on which parents, in quotes, that's referring to. But anyway, we pick up sometime later that night as the gang is leaving. Thanks for having us. And Ritsuko tells them, starting next time, I'll be charging a consultation fee, alright? After all, showbiz is how I bring home the bacon. So, did they, get help with the M1 while they were there? Because we didn't get to see any of that. But Erika just tells her, oh, Mom, there you go again. And then she says, thanks for making time for us, even though you're busy with work. I'm glad I asked. And Ritsuko tells her, I'm glad you asked, too. You never brought friends home before. This is the first time, right? That's just, there's always this, especially with Erika in general, there's this kind of air of, lighthearted and everything's all fun and games. And then sometimes you get these, really sweet moments. Whenever Erika realizes how great it is that she has, friends now. We see that again here with Ritsuko. Which, you can kind of see, the way that Erika and Ritsuko that Erika takes after Ritsuko there. But Erika's kind of taken aback and yeah, this is the first time she ever brought friends home. And she smiles and tells Ritsuko, today we all got together to practice for the M1, and then we ate at a diner. And Ritsuko just comments, wow. And then they all sort of wave goodbye, and Ritsuko just sort of slowly closes the door. There's this sad smile on her face. And I don't know, part of me wants to I can almost see a parallel between how Ritsuko's sort of solemn woman in the iron mask persona pre-Soichiro and her bubbly persona now. And comparing that to Erika pre-series and Erika now. Though we don't really see Erika being the sort of solemn, never smiling woman, or what little we know of Erika in the past. But there's a sense that she was deeply unhappy before now, and the way that Ritsuko supposedly was deeply unhappy before Soichiro, so we can sort of see those echoes in the Amano family. Anyway, we see there's a group chat. Erika sends a text, blow up, huh? And bomb emojis, which means I guess that's all the advice Ritsuko gave them. Which, like, if I were to be charged a consultation fee, and the only advice I got was blow them up, I'd want a refund. But anyway, Hiro texts back, I guess the secret to winning is that you can't just do something amazing, huh? And Shion responds, the key is to upend their expectations. Nagi texts, and that's their homework for tomorrow. And all three of them text back in the exact same way. Cocky much? And Nagi comments while looking at the group text, everyone's totally into the M1 now. And Erika tells him, of course they are. Everyone around has been into it. And Nagi, who of course has been like out of school for the past couple of weeks, sort of looks back at her confused. But Erika sort of seems to ignore that line. I'm not quite sure what it's a weird line Erika has there, and Nagi's response is also sort of weird. I'm wondering if it's like a translation thing or something. But anyway, Erika goes on, but I'm really glad we reached out to Mommy today. I'd always thought Mommy and Daddy didn't get along like parents do. Okay. Which is, I can see sort of a callback, like an echo from the Amanos situation to the Seigawa situation, like 10 chapters ago. How Hiro also thought her parents didn't love each other. But I don't know. Like, Soichiro is such a weird character, I just don't know what to say about him. As I've kind of said in the past, I don't know how to read this man. I just don't know. Anyway, Nagi thinks, I guess that wasn't the case, huh? And Erika tells him, Mommy and Daddy in high school were both exactly like you. And Nagi's sort of shocked there, and then sort of tells her, that can't be right. No matter how you slice it, they were like you. And Erika's taken aback by that. What? I mean, like, I already called out the sort of similarities in Erika and Ritsuko earlier. But Erika sort of counters, you saw it too, didn't you? That video of Mommy. That iron mask was totally you, no matter how you look at it. Your pictures are exactly the same. And we see, like, the sort of the comparison between, like, Ritsuko giving the confession sort of stone-faced, and Nagi's sort of, like, dead-eyed stare. And the bit where Daddy rejects the confession was just like you, too. But Nagi counters, my confessions aren't bits. And we see Soichiro's rejection, and I think that's Nagi confessing to Hiro, maybe? But Nagi counters, and what about you? You're always dropping lines like they're bombs. You're all explosion maniacs. Which I suppose meant to be a callback to, like, it's paired up with the Ritsuko before and after. But, like, that seems to be more about Soichiro, who had the blowing up line. And also, because the next part that seems to be paired with Soichiro says, and the part of you that does everything for entertainment is exactly the same, too. Erika counters, I'm not about entertainment, I'm about the unexpected. So again, it seemed a little bit flopped there, but also interesting thing to note, though, is that when Erika compares Nagi to her parents, she looks at her parents when they were in high school. When Nagi compares Erika to her parents, he looks at her parents as they are now, as they're adults. It's an interesting distinction. Like, I guess it's the adults that raised Erika, and maybe how they were in high school was a more innate genetic form of themselves that would pass off to their offspring, maybe? I don't know. But they just start arguing about, like, who was most like the Amanos. And eventually Erika, like, leans over, man, being switched at birth is a total pain. Nagi sort of in a huff, agreed. But then he thinks, but she has a point. Though it may be a coincidence, I've come to attend the same high school as my real parents, and come to do the exact same things as they did before. Well, not much. You just happen to both get caught up in the same competition. That's not much of doing the exact same things. But Nagi sort of goes on, I suppose I really have no choice but to accept that they are my parents. When I first met them. And we flash back to his very first meeting with Ritsuko and Soichiro way back in, like, chapter 1. Does he look like me? It did cross my mind. And I mean, he does, like, Soichiro does just look very much like Nagi. As much as I stress the value of the family that raised them, there's no denying that Nagi and Soichiro were like dead ringers for each other. But anyway, Erika sighs, I'm feeling kind of hungry now. Is pizza still open for delivery now? Didn't you, like, just eat? I don't know. But, and he thinks back to the Uminos, to Namie and Yohei. They're the ones who raised me. As if I could think of them as anything but my parents now. Never. I think it might meant to be like now or ever or something. Like the never bit there is a little, something about the grammar in that panel is a little weird. I get what he's going for, but it's just sort of an oddly structured sentence. Which is the sort of thing I hyperfixate on at 11:30. So that's where we are tonight. But Erika looks over and notices Nagi's sort of confused face, or like focused face. And then she lights up, no way! We can still make it! And Nagi's still sort of like, still sort of lost in thought. And Erika chimes in, but you know, having 4 parents and all is fun, isn't it? She gives this little like devious grin to Nagi. And there's her title line, of course. It's not quite like money shot quality, but like she looks like she's drawn money shot ways. If that's a word that makes sense anymore. But something about like the lack of a background, the lack of like a lower quarter of the page, it doesn't feel like a money shot. I don't know. Anyway, Nagi just sort of is taken aback by, Erika sort of blowing past all of the sort of things weighing him down. Nagi, much like I have, to be honest, have been caught up in this idea of which ones are the real parents. And honestly, now that I think about it, Erika's never really been bound by that. She considers the Amanos her parents, she considers the Uminos her parents, they're all her parents. It sort of is a kind of like turn on the sort of question that Nagi's had all this time is who does he consider as real parents? The answer is they all are. But Nagi sort of doesn't really admit that. Never have I ever thought that. Oh, come on, Nagi-kun. You're so thick-headed. Nagi goes on, that's your problem? Anyway, Erika just says to herself, come to think of it, I think I can kind of understand now why they would have the idea to make us fiancés. So they can make us both their kids. But Nagi counters, they completely ignored our feelings, though. Isn't that why you're staging your rebellion here? And Erika, who kind of forgot about the whole rebellion thing, is just, oh, right! Which, like, yeah, I forgot about that part of the setup, too, to be fair. It's been a while since we really brought that up. Nagi just looks at her like, really? And she runs upstairs. I'll go ask Sachi-chan if she wants pizza, too. But Nagi tells her she's probably already asleep. And as Erika leaves, Nagi just falls over on the couch and thinks. And then it's their M1 training. We cut to the next day. Hiro is in her shrine maiden getup with a bow and arrow pointed at a bomb on top of Nagi's head. I can't tell if this is a dream or if this is some gag Hiro has. Both are completely plausible. And Nagi's just, wait a second, Seigo-san. What is this even? And Hiro tells him, don't move, Umino-kun. Okay. And I guess this is real life, because she goes on, doesn't this feel like William Tell, or perhaps Robin Hood, or even Nasu no Yoichi? Or this might actually be the other way around. That might be Nagi's line, because we have the speech bubble pointed at Hiro, I think, saying, you can say that. But then Nagi, clearly uncomfortable by the bomb strapped to his head, questions, so about this bomb, what does this have to do with anything? And Hiro tells him, the suspense of not knowing when the bomb will go off. And on top of that, the thrill of not knowing if the one to blow up will be the bomb or the person. Nagi does not like this situation. Huh? With this, victory is assured. She's taken that blow-up thing very literally. And you can tell, this is not set in America. because an American high school would not abide even a joke bomb threat. But okay. Nagi's just sort of questioning, huh? And then we cut to Erika, and she's holding like a razor, and she's gonna shave Shion's head, which like they can't practice and do on stage, but okay, here we go. And Shion's just like, hold on a second, and Nagi looks over. What's going on over there? They're giving Shion-kun a buzz cut, and Nagi's just, what? Truly, such an explosive impact. You've got to put up a good fight, all right? Like, that's just, like, not going to work. They can't practice that and then do it for the M1. But okay. And over with the other two, Erika tells Shion, prepare yourself. And Shion's just, my poor heart. And Nagi's just kind of uncomfortable by that whole situation. And he looks over, and Erika is fiddling with the razor instead of the 9mm. I think we should go with the 3mm guard after all. God, that's gonna be some short fucking hair. And Shion's just, have mercy. And I think this is Hiro's line, because Nagi's getting distracted by Erika's act. And Hiro tells him, you better not look away. It's not safe, you know. Here I go, Umino-kun, and she like readies the arrow. Huh? Are we doing this for real? And Hiro tells him, I mean, we have to practice. And though it may be practice, and there is this like killer look in her eyes. Move and you might get shot. Don't move and you might still get shot. What the fuck, Hiro? And Nagi's just like frozen in terror. Alright, I've decided. And she like loses the arrow. And Shion declares, for Erika-chan, for the sake of our victory, I'll get a buzz cut. And Erika raises up the razor. Then it's decided. And then I think this might be Shion. But wait a minute. If you shave me now, you wouldn't be able to do it for the real thing, would you? There we go, Shion. Shion's the only person in this whole quartet with even a single functioning brain cell right now. So yeah, there goes the problem. And Erika's just sort of shocked, huh? And in her panic, she drops the razor. Hey! Right towards the pool as she's falling in it. That's an electric razor. What's going to happen there? What? The pool? And Nagi saves her. Nagi runs over. There's our fucking money shot for the week. Nagi runs over, saves her. The razor falls into the pool, this little sploosh effect. We see like Nagi's like grabbing her from the waist. Erika's kind of a blushing mess there. And Nagi's just, Amanos-san. What? I should have teamed up with you after all. So the blurb here is, suddenly Nagi drops a bomb, both with that comment and the fact we see the bomb has fallen off of Nagi's head. Doesn't have to do with Ritsuko and Suichiro's victory. Next time, Nagi's opinions. So I thought that line was like a little gag about the bomb thing just being too ridiculous. But maybe it's a more serious thing? I don't know. Because that bit, next time, Nagi's opinions, isn't interesting. Like, it shows that, like, I don't know. I'm curious what that's going to mean. It could be he wants to team up with, like, maybe the question is it he doesn't want to team up with Hiro, who's like shooting him right now, or is it he wants to team up with Erika specifically? I don't know. That's the sort of thing we can't really comment on until next chapter. For things we can talk about, I want to talk about the parent section again. Because it's just a good fucking scene, a good little like turn on one of Nagi's like biggest self-questions for the entire series. This like, you know, are the Amanos my parents? Are the Uminos my parents? And Erika just like says, fuck that entire dichotomy. They're both my parents. That's my life. I have 4 parents. That's fine. And Erika's kind of like Nagi takes a moment and is like, oh right, that's a fair point. They are both my parents in the end. So that's just a good bit there. Other good bits, I love the bit of like Ritsuko. I love all these moments of, like, Erika realizing how far she's come from, like, the beginning of the series. She has this, like, circle of friends who care about her. It's just good shit all around. You know, I love me some Erika. And seeing her, like, acknowledge her own sort of widening social circle of, like, genuine friends, not, like, social media influencer shit. It's good. It's good to see. You love to see it. And then it leads into the parents' argument, which is just a good, wholesome bit. And then, God, the entire training bit is so funny. What with the bomb thing, the buzz cut, the realization the buzz cut's just a bad move right now. And then, of course, that, like, heroic save Nagi pulls. And we'll see where exactly that leads to next time. That I should have teamed up with you after all. Because I don't really know where we're going with that yet. So we'll see how all that plays out in the future. For now, this is just a fun episode. So with that said, I'm going to leave this video off here. Hope you'll enjoy the chapter and the video itself. If you did, feel free to drop me a like or subscribe. Or, you know, do whatever makes you happy, you know. And as always, your life is your own, okay? Bye!